This is the second video in a series on my Kossel XL 3D printer. I'm going to walk through this entire build and show you all of the different features and stuff. So for starters, Kossel Mini is the most popular Delta printer out there. The Delta has these three arms. So I used this Kossel Mini to print parts to build this Kossel XL. This is a complete do-it-yourself deal. These printers are documented on reprap.org, so it's an open standard. No one owns it. You do. You can download the bill of materials and get instructions on how to build these things. And of course on my website I have complete build instructions and bill of materials and so forth. The Kossel XL itself is pretty much identical to a Kossel Mini, only it's 50% larger. The base parts that you're going to need to print are the corner vertices. And honestly, Delta printers are really simple compared to some Cartesian systems, because it's basically this times 3. And of course you have your bottom vertices. Vertex. So once again, this printer is pretty much just 50% bigger. So the Kossel Mini is about 2 feet tall, or 60 millimeters. This one is about 30 inches tall, or about 77 millimeters. Width is right around a foot, or 30 millimeters. This one is about 18 inches, or about 44 millimeters. The build surface is really about 180 millimeters, which is right around 7 inches. So I kind of wanted something bigger, so I started printing this one. And my build surface is closer to about 260 millimeters, which is about 10 inches. The Kossel Mini uses 15 by 15 millimeter aluminum extrusions, and this one's using 20 by 20 millimeter extrusions. Of course, your hot ends right here. This is called a carriage. It carries up and down. This is in stop, and then your motors are down here in the bottom. That's what runs it. You can get a Kossel Mini kit on eBay for $250, $300 all day long. There are tons and tons of them. But the Kossel XL is kind of new, so I didn't really find any complete kits. So right now, this almost needs to be your second printer because you're going to be printing a lot of parts for this. After you get the basic printer frame together, these RepRaps are almost like hot rods. You could put whatever the heck you want on there, and you can design whatever you want. So I'm going to go through some of the additional parts and pieces that make my complete build here. So starting with this control panel, I built it modular because I didn't have a massive printer. But anyway, got your LCD screen here. My ramps electronics are under here, and then control panel with a little extras. Bells and whistles and knobs. I'll go through those in a second. So these are amazing. These are little knobs I found on Thingiverse. This is a quick way to get the build plate up. So I designed this little thing. There's some little springs that just press the hot plate up against the glass firmly. I went ahead and put in terminal blocks in here. This is a nice place to bring all the wires in. And if I want to unplug the build plate, I can just unplug this and voila, I can remove it completely. To make it look nice, I like this plastic expandable sleeving to put all your wires in. And I've also have some split loom back here. In my opinion, it's nice having some bed cooling fans, so there's some little brackets here to hold some fans. These are just some fans I rated out of a computer. The carriages are really, these are just regular Kossel carriages. These are of course scaled up for the 2020 aluminum. I printed these little brackets to go between this particular ball joint and my carbon fiber rod. You can see I'm set up here. I'm planning to do 3-color printing with something like a diamond audience, so it just kind of made sense to make these little brackets and this filament spool holder. And then you get to choose what kind of an extruder you want. I like Greg's accessible extruders. Hardcore fan. I put those on every printer no matter what. And then there's these plastic brackets printed. Kind of cool. Makes the wire management, makes everything look really pretty. Here you can see all my wires are in this plastic sheathing. It's really cool. Then of course there's a bracket here printed to hold the power supply on. It's just a 12-volt power supply. So I liked to have lighting in my printer, and it's not just for show, it's so that you can kind of really see what's going on. So one of these knobs here, you can turn it off, on and off. Then you can twist the potentiometer and get it the brightness that you want. And then completely for showing off, I have this red LEDs underneath, ground effects. There's no reason for that. I don't know what this one does. This one turns off the bed cooling. So your software will automatically run the bed cooling for you, but sometimes human knows best, and I'll run over and be like, nope, I want that cooling off. And you can change the speed of it and so forth. Looking underneath the hood, of course, we have some cooling here for like the electronics. This comes up. If I do 3-color printing, I need one more stepper motor driver, and that's what this guy's for. And then this is Ramps Electronics. I like Ramps the best because it's cheap. I think I got this whole setup for about 30 bucks. I got an LCD screen, the Ramps board, all of the drivers, and the Arduino Mega, which is underneath this shield. The other compelling reason to use Ramps is because if you accidentally burn up a stepper motor driver, these are like $3. You can just pull it out and plug a new one in. So I'm not going to go into complete detail like I usually do on the actual build of putting the parts and pieces together. There are lots and lots of great videos and tutorials out there. On my blog post I'm going to list a few great resources to get everything assembled. My next video I'm going to kind of dive in and show you how easy it is to get the software installed on your computer and the firmware installed and get you printing really fast.